Okay, it's 10 a.m. We'll get going. We'll uh, we'll start today with the pledge, as per usual. Get this going. Oh, sorry, I'm like so out of it right now. Okay, good morning. I'm going to open up the Special Committee on Childcare's public hearing on Senate Bill 478 relative to child daycare, residential care, and child placing agency licensing. I want to welcome Senator Carson to the committee for the purpose of introduction of the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to members of the committee. For the record, my name is Sharon Carson, and I have the pleasure of representing Senate District 14, comprising the towns of Auburn, Londonderry, and Hudson. For your consideration today, I have Senate Bill 478, which does quite a few things. And I'll go through them as I testify. But I would like to begin by saying that this bill was at the request of the Department of Health and Human Services. And members are here today to provide testimony and answer any questions that you might have on Senate Bill 478. Senate Bill 478 does the following. One, it is consistent with existing department administrative remedies for licensed daycare agencies and recreation camps. The proposed legislation would include licensed residential care and child placing agencies also being subjected to administrative fines for noncompliance with the provisions of its specific licensing subdivision, RSA 170E:24. Secondly, it eliminates the issuance of a child care employment eligibility card currently required for licensed daycare agencies under RSA 170E:7, Section 4A, and a licensed residential care and child placing agencies under RSA 170E:29A7. This requirement is no longer necessary where staff eligibility information is readily available to employers via the New Hampshire Connections Information System portal. Third, it eliminates the requirements for RSA 170E:10, which is the child daycare licensure, and RSA 170E:33, residential care and child placing licensure, that the department shall give notice to the health officer and fire department of the city or town in which the licensee is located, stating the granting of such license and its terms. Notwithstanding, local officials are directly included and involved in the initial licensure application process, and the results of licensure issuance is publicly available online via the department's website. Thus, this provision of law has become unnecessary, yet remains an additional resource demand on the department. And four, it amends RSA 170E:31 to align specialized care licensee from a 2 to a 3-year licensure cycle with other entities licensed by the department's child care licensing unit. At this point, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to terminate my comments and please ask you to hold your questions until the people who requested the bill be filed can come up and talk to you about it in more detail. I thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Can I get? We'll do Jackie Cowell next. Can we get a pink card from the department? Hello.
Hello, good morning. How do you do? I'm Jackie Cowell from Early Learning New Hampshire. We're a statewide nonprofit and glad to be here with you again. We do support SB 478. In particular, very excited about the child care employee eligibility cards no longer being necessary. That's been a burden to the field and to child care small businesses and employers as well. So this is terrific. And just want to mention that the leadership from the legislatively enacted New Hampshire Child Care Advisory Council couldn't be here today. They're pre-scheduled for a meeting, but they wanted me to let you know that they also support this bill.
We be taking questions. Are there questions?
Oh, I don't have, yeah, sure.
Okay, that's the two things. All right,
Thank you.
We'll get the department up next.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Melissa Clement. I'm the Chief of the Child Care Licensing Unit in the Department of Health and Human Services, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have on the bill. The way it was presented is consistent with what we recommended, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions from the committee? Yes. Member Christian.
So the information about like informing the local health officer and fire department, presumably that's so that they're aware that there's
Yes,
you know,
and
a
it
new-
when we notify them, it comes after the fact. So thank you for allowing me to provide clarification. The programs have already gone to their local towns to get zoning approval. The fire inspector has already inspected it. The health officer has already inspected it. So they're well aware that the application process is happening. And everything else is available online once we issue the license. So thank you.
Further questions? I do. Can you talk to me about the new section, page 3, section 8? I'm sorry, about the new $2,000 penalty.
Sure, absolutely. So our residential program, childcare programs, which are our 24-hour care programs for youth, we do not have a fine structure in place for them. And the reason we wanted to add it is so that we have a consistent process with child daycares and our camp programs, but also to allow us additional remedies, because right now we cite them on a statement of findings. They provide a corrective action plan. We then have the option to either suspend or revoke their license. There's no middle ground. So we go from the one citation to, or not just one citation, but after repeat citations, there's no other remedy. And it has been found that in general, when we're working with programs, sometimes administering a fine is what helps in order for them to be able to understand the need to maintain compliance. So for us, it's an intermediate step. It's not one we do lightly. There is always a history of repeat citations or egregious findings before we get to that point. We just wanted the ability to have that flexibility that we have with our other license agencies throughout the department.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll just chill till 10:15, and we're voting on this at 10:15. So if you want to break into a caucus, that's fine. Okay, it's 10:15. We're going to enter a period of executive session on Senate Bill 478 relative to child daycare, residential care, and child placing agency licensing. I will make a motion that 478 FN should be ought to pass. Is there a second? Representative Wallner seconds. Is there any discussion on the bill? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Station votes yes.
Schultz, hi. Votes yes.
Yes.
So by a motion.
Well, I'd like to vote.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not-
Chairman Barry. See,
I vote
you
yes.
messed me up last time. Okay. By a vote of 7-0 with 3 not voting.
Okay. All right, with that, the motion of ought to pass is on Senate Bill 478 carries on a vote of 7-0. I'll take care of the committee report. I'll get it done here before noon, and I will see you guys on tomorrow. Thanks.